Hey everyone, today we are going to start Phonetics and Phonology. And we will divide this course into two parts. The first one would be Phonetics, and the second one would be Phonology. In today's lecture, we will discuss or we will give a brief introduction of phonetics, the first part of this course. For what phonetics is? Phonetics is derived from the Greek word phone, which means sound or voice. It is the study of the physical sounds of human speech concerned with the physical properties of speech sounds, the processes of their physiological production, the process of auditory reception, and its neurophysiological perception. In short, phonetics is the study of articulatory and acoustic properties of the sounds of human languages. We do not know about the origin of language, but there are about 7,000 languages in the world altogether. Nearly 4,000 of them are spoken by small tribes in their self-sufficient limited areas. Every language has sounds that are considerably different from each other for the native speakers to distinguish them. Although some distinctions may seem too difficult for the ears and articulators that are unfamiliar with them. For instance, we speak Pashto, and we Pashto speakers can hardly detect or articulate the subtle distinctions in the speech sounds of a Chinese or a Japanese speaker. Now, we will discuss the different branches of phonetics. Phonetics has three main branches. The first one is articulatory phonetics. Articulatory phonetics is concerned with the articulation of speech, the position, shape, and movement of articulators or speech organs, such as lips, tongue, and vocal folds. The second branch of phonetics is acoustic phonetics. Acoustic phonetics is concerned with the acoustics of speech, the properties of the sound waves, such as their frequency and harmonics. The third branch of phonetics is auditory phonetics, and this branch is concerned with the speech perception, like how sound is received by the inner ear and physiologically perceived by the brain. These three are the main branches of phonetics, and we just briefly discussed these branches. Now, there are about 200 different vowels and more than 600 different consonants in the languages around the world. There is no way that we can discuss all those sounds at this level. It will just give the students a flavor of what happens when people talk, and our particular focus will lie on the speech sounds of English language. As we are talking about the English language, and we deal with sounds and the speech of English language. So here we will discuss the speech sounds of English language. In this course, Phonetics and Phonology, we will study about what people do with their tongues, lips, and other vocal organs during speech production, as well as our ability to hear small differences in speech sounds of English language that are necessary for English accent and pronunciation. So this was a brief introduction of the first part of the course, that is phonetics, and we also discussed briefly the different branches of phonetics as well. Now, the second thing which is important to discuss is that there are difficulties in pronunciation by any foreign learner of English language. So here we will discuss these difficulties in pronunciation faced by a foreign learner of English language. Now, language starts with the ear. When a baby starts to talk, he or she does it by hearing the sounds his mother and father make and imitates them. If a baby is born deaf, he or she can neither hear these sounds, neither can imitate them, and will not be able to speak, although he or she would articulate sounds, but normal babies can hear and can imitate. They are wonderful imitators, and this gift, which gives us the gift of speech, lasts for a number of years. It is well known that a child can learn any language perfectly. If it is brought up surrounded by people of that language, no matter where it was born or who its parents were, after a certain age, the ability becomes less, and we know only too well that adults have great difficulty in mastering the pronunciation and many other aspects of foreign languages. Some people are more talented than others. They find pronouncing other languages less difficult, but they never find them easy. Why is this? Now, these are the questions that arise. That why is this? Why should this gift that we all have as children disappear later in life? Why can't grown-up people pick up a characteristic sound of a foreign language as a child can? So there are certain causes for these problems or for these difficulties. So we will discuss some of them or some of the causes here. The first one, which is considered as the one of the main cause of these difficulties, is the influence of the mother tongue. By the time we are grown up, the habits of our own language are so strong that they are very difficult to break. In our own language, we have a fairly small number of sound units which we put together in many different combinations to form the words and sentences we use every day. And as we get older, we are dominated by this small number of units. It is as if we had in our heads a certain fixed number of boxes for sounds. When we listen to our own language, we hear the sounds and we put each into the right box. And when we speak, we go to the boxes and take out the sounds we want in the order we want them. And as we do this over the years, the boxes get stronger and stronger until everything we hear, whether it is our own language or another, has to be put into one of these boxes. And everything we say comes out of one of them. But every language has a different number of boxes, and the boxes are arranged differently. For example, a Pashto speaker is unable to articulate the sound the as in the words think, health, and the sound the as in the words there, loathe, etc. He would often replace them with the nearest sound available in Pashto. For example, they replace these sounds, or a Pashto speaker replace these sounds into the sound. Now, there is difference between the, and the. So we face these problems because of the mother tongue interference, because these sounds are not available in our mother tongue. The main problem of English pronunciation is to build a new set of boxes corresponding to the sounds of English, and to break down the arrangement of boxes which the habits of our native language have so strongly built up. We do this by establishing new ways of hearing, new ways of using our speech organs, new speech habits. Now, this was the first problem, or the first cause that is responsible for difficulties in the pronunciation of a foreign language or English language. We are talking about English language, so it is one of the causes of these one of the causes that create problems for a foreign learner to learn English or to pronounce English or to produce speech sounds of English language. Now, the second cause is the non-phonetic character of English. Here we will discuss two main points. The first one is English spelling is very complicated. The same form of spelling may represent different sounds. For example, the letter A represents different sounds in man, father, ball, amount, yacht, and private. Now, here a single letter A represents different sounds in each of these words. Second one is, for example, OU may be pronounced in many different ways, as in house, coat, cough, thought, and rouge. Now, here we can see that the combination of these two letters is pronounced differently in each of these words. Another example, we can take another example as well. For example, the CH sound is pronounced in 7 different ways. How? For example, in the word chair, chemistry, parachute, sandwich, and so on. Now, the second thing in the non-phonetic character of English is that the same sound may be spelled in many different ways. As the vowel sound E may be spelled as in cheese, in receive, in people, in secret. So the same, you can see that the sound may be spelled differently in these words. Police, key, qui, aesthetic, etc. So these two things shows us the non-phonetic character of English. In the first place, we have seen that English spelling is complicated. The same form of spelling represent different sounds, and in the second case, we have seen that the same sound may be spelled in many different ways. The third cause is ignorance of the correct acoustic quality of English sounds. Now, sounds have a certain quality. When a speaker utters a sound, the listener, on hearing the sound, registers the sound in his ears. That sound, as heard by the listener, is the acoustic quality of the sound. When a speaker utters B, for example, the listener registers it as B. But it is possible that when we hear an Englishman speak his language, we think that he has used these sounds, but our understanding may be faulty because he may have used sounds which are not exactly the same sound as we may have heard, but slightly different. Now, the acoustic quality as actually used by this person is not exactly the same as the quality of the sound which registers itself in our ears. So we remain ignorant of the acoustic quality of this sound, and therefore when we would use those sounds, we would use slightly different sounds depending on a certain number of factors. Now, these factors may include manner in which we hear the sound and influence of the mother tongue, as we have discussed is already as the first cause. We may be ignorant of the acoustic quality of certain English sounds, especially some vowel sounds and their phonological use. Now, the fourth cause is the substitution of the English sounds by corresponding sounds of our own mother tongue. We substitute the English sound by more or less corresponding sound of our own mother tongue. sound of our first language can be nearly similar to the sound of English language, but often the sounds of both the language are different from one another. For example, vowel sound O as in got with a as in last. We substitute these English sounds. We substitute the O sound as in got with a sound as in last, like we pronounced got as got. We also substitute the aspirated p sound with the unaspirated p. Similarly, we also make no distinction between the long e and the short a sounds. So this is also a problem. This substitution of English sounds by corresponding sounds of our own mother tongue is also one of the causes. Now, the last one that we will discuss, the last cause, is ignorance of the proper usage of stress, length, and intonation. Now, the same sound may be pronounced in different ways in different contexts. For example, long E sound is pronounced differently in words seed and seat. It will be relatively shorter when followed by a voiced consonant, the sound D in this case, than when it is followed by an unvoiced consonant as T. So, the seed and seat, we pronounced both the vowel, we pronounced this vowel sound in the same way in both the words. We pronounced it as seed and seat, although this vowel is not pronounced in the same way in both the words. As we said, that it will be relatively shorter when followed by a voiced consonant, so it would be seed and seat. So there is a slight difference in the pronunciation of this vowel sounds, but we are ignorant of this proper usage of length and intonation, which is also one of the causes that create difficulties in pronunciation for a foreign learner of English language. So it was all about the introduction of phonetics, in which we studied or we give the brief introduction of the word phonetics, and also briefly discussed the different branches of phonetics. And in the second part, we discussed the difficulties in pronunciation faced by a foreign learner of English language, and these difficulties is because of certain causes, and we discussed these causes briefly. Let me repeat these causes for you. That these causes are the influence of the mother tongue. Second is the non-phonetic character of English. The third one is ignorance of the correct acoustic quality of English sounds. Fourth one is the substitution of the English sounds by corresponding sounds of our own mother tongue. And last but not the least is ignorance of the proper usage of stress, length, and intonation. This is all for today. In the next lecture, we will discuss another topic of phonetics of the same course. So till then, take care and bye.